Welcome back, money hunters and mavens, ready to dive into the wild world of inflation hedging? I know I am. You know that sexy topic where finance and survival instincts collide like rock'em sock'em robots. Today I'm going to be tackling the hot debate right now on the street, and that is NVIDIA rivals gold as an inflation hedge. So grab your popcorn, get your gold bars, and let's get the show on the road. For decades, gold has been the go-to hedge against inflation. It's no secret, and talk about it all the time. It's shiny, it's timeless. And if you're like Joe Biden, you probably still think it's a solid investment because it's been around since Joe Biden was born. But hold on to your silicone chips because now tech giants like NVIDIA, just the biggest news on the planet right now with its surge in price, are muscling in on gold's turf. According to a Bloomberg survey, 46% of respondents still cling to gold like it's their last bar of chocolate during a zombie apocalypse. But nearly a third of them, yes, a whole third of people in this survey, are betting on tech behemoths like NVIDIA, Apple, and Amazon to keep their wallets fat and happy during these very inflationary times. We all know what we're talking about. Inflation, it sucks. Inflation in the US is like a cockroach at a nuclear test site. It's stubborn and hard to kill. It's down from the 2022 inferno, but it's still higher than a 60-year-old's cholesterol after McDonald's binge. Let's just be honest with ourselves. And get this, even though inflation's cooled off a bit, it's still above the Fed's 2% target. So folks are scrambling for a safe haven faster than Joe Biden scrambling for his morning meds. Now, let me get into exact numbers. Since inflation started to rear its ugly head back in March 2021, NVIDIA's stock surged over 6 times. That's right, 6x. Meanwhile, Apple, which has had more ups and downs than Biden on Air Force One steps, still managed to outperform the broader market with a 50% gain compared to the S&P 500's 30%. But slow down a second. Let's not get too cocky. Tech stocks are like your ex, volatile and unpredictable. They're sensitive to inflation and interest rate changes, because their value is tied to future profit. So while NVIDIA might look like a superhero right now, it could end up being as reliable as a politician's promise. Speaking of unreliable politicians, let's take a moment to appreciate Joe Biden. Navigating the economy with him at the helm feels like you're trusting your pet hamster to drive your car. You never know if you're going to end up in a ditch or in a viral TikTok. Just don't know where he's going. Now back to our regular scheduled programming. Despite tech stocks' meteoric rise, some survey respondents, about a quarter, still see a U.S. recession on the horizon as the biggest risk for 2024. And in a recession, it's back to basics with bonds and treasuries. Think of it as switching from tequila shots to water after realizing you have a 9 a.m. meeting. I know I've been there many times. On the currency front, the U.S. dollar reigns supreme as the best haven, with 86% of North American respondents betting on it. Now, over in Europe across the pond, the Swiss franc still charms 43% of folks. Meanwhile, the Japanese yen has about as much appeal as a wet sock thanks to Japan's ultra-easy monetary policy. But let's take a step back and not forget about the geopolitical angles. After the U.S. froze Russia's dollar assets due to the Ukraine invasion, many countries start diversifying away from the dollar. It's like when your favorite burger joint starts using soy patties. You look for alternatives. I know I would too. And you start looking fast. The shift has been a boon for gold as countries like China are snapping it up like it's the latest iPhone. China's buying gold in record numbers, as are the central banks, which is something I follow very close. Gold's up almost 15% this year, with big buyers like the People's Bank of China hoarding it like doomsday preppers. It's clear that in times of geopolitical tension, gold shines brighter than a freshly polished well. You guys get the point. I don't have to elaborate on that. And I actually lost my train of thought in my joke I had written. Interestingly enough, only 13% of respondents believe that Bitcoin benefits from the surge for geopolitically unaligned assets. Bitcoin may be rebellious teenager of the financial world, but gold is still the wise old grandfather who's seen it all and knows how to keep his savings intact. He's just a safe guy that bets on gold. And speaking of grandpas, Joe Biden's approach to inflation is like trying to put out a forest fire with a garden hose. Bless his heart, but at this point, I'm half expecting him to suggest and solve inflation by printing more money. Oh wait, hold on. We've done that. We've done that multiple times. That printing machine just fires up and ruins us. So what's the bottom line for investors? What's your takeaway here? While NVIDIA and other tech stocks are riding high right now, don't put all your eggs in that basket. Diversification is key. We talk about that all the time on this channel. Balance your portfolio with a mix of tech stocks, traditional assets such as gold, and maybe even some bonds to cushion against a real potential recession. There's a link below if you want to get gold. Greg and I both have it in our gold IRA. Remember, even the brightest tech stars can fall, especially when inflation and interest rates start doing the cha-cha-cha. Gold now, on the other hand, has stood the test of time. It's been through wars, economic collapses, and yes, even through presidencies as perplexing as the one we're in right now. So there you have it, folks. Whether you're betting on the cutting edge of tech stocks like NVIDIA or the tried and true glimmer of gold, keep your wits about you and diversify. Inflation is like that uninvited guest who overstays their welcome. It's always lurking, it's always annoying, but with the right strategy, you can stay ahead of the game. And that's a wrap. Would love to know what you guys are doing in the comments below. Stay sharp, stay invested, and remember, Joe Biden can become president. Anything in life is possible. I'll catch you next time on my Financial Follies channel where money makes sense, and we do make sense of your money. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your fellow money maniacs.